Hello YouTubers, this is my 2015 BMW, I guess it's called an F15, they have a lot of weird names for these things, X5. I will be removing the bumper cover on this. I have not seen any videos on YouTube on how to do this, or tutorial on how to install a tow hitch on one of these. So I got this thing off of Amazon and we'll go ahead and check that out. I think I spent under $200 on this thing, but I guess we'll see how hard it is to install it. I haven't really seen anything on YouTube again on how to uninstall one of these. I'll get all the tools. I'll put everything in the description of what I used to make this easy for everyone. And hopefully this video will be helpful for others trying to remove this bumper. So we'll check that out, and more updates to come. So step one is removing these reflectors. I went ahead and did this one off camera just so I could figure it out. Basically what you have to do is you got to push in this, pull this down, and it'll fall right out. And the reason why you do that is because there's a bolt right behind the reflectors right here. Now you have to take out these bolts, and there's a few underneath to take off this plastic piece first. So I'll go ahead and do this one on camera so you guys can kind of see it. It is kind of a tight fit. I don't know if you can see that in there, but there's a way to push it out. There you go. Ideally, you wouldn't want to drop this on the ground. These are pretty easily broken, but pretty simple process. Really push this in, really pull this tab up, and it'll slide right out. Next step is we're gonna have to open up the trunk, and we're gonna take off the rear lights, and that shouldn't be too hard either. We'll have to unclip them and get those out, so I'll do that right now off camera. I'll take one out and then I'll show you how to do the other one. Okay, so I figured out how to take these off. Actually, BMW kind of made it real easy for you. These little panels just come out real easy. Take that off. There's nothing, no unscrewing, nothing to do. There's a clip to undo. This clip, just a simple push this in, slide it out. There are two 8mm bolts you have to unhook right there, and then the light should slide out. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, get those out, and this should slide right out. Oh, nice. So yeah, a little bit of pressure. BMW light slides right out. I'm pretty sure we gotta lower this. Just make sure not to break this. Man, that's how you remove your taillights on an F15 BMW X5. And the reason why you're doing that is so you can get to these bolts right here. So let's go ahead and do the other side. Next is we're gonna go ahead and remove these bolts that go to the actual rear bumper cover real quick. Next thing after that, we need to go ahead and get access to this panel back here by removing this rear wheel arch cover. Now you don't have to remove the whole thing, but you have to remove it enough to where you can actually have access in there and actually be able to access the bolts behind it. That's the whole purpose of removing it. Okay, so in order to get these braces out, what you have to do is kind of stretch them out a little bit by getting a little prying tool underneath it, and then you're going to push out this metal piece, or this middle piece on these two. So I removed this two and this one, and I also unscrewed the bottom right here. There's an 8mm bolt underneath it. So I'll go ahead and show you guys how to do that, and then we'll go from there. Now I'll go underneath and do the rest of these 8mm bolts. There's a whole bunch of them. I think there's like 8 of them, but I'll get those done right now. Now it's time to remove the screws from underneath each reflector. Now, I believe we start with taking out the bumper. Let's see how this goes. Okay, now back to these wheel arches. There are little tabs in here you have to push out, and then there's a screw right in here we'll have to take out, which is a star tool, which I don't remember what size this is, but they did switch it up on me. It's not an 8mm bolt, so let's go ahead and check that out. This thing will pop out like so. Then it'll reveal this little bolt right here that you'll have to take out. There's also an 8mm bolt back here you'll need to release as well. Now the fun part. You have to actually give a lot of pressure on pulling this bumper out. So I've given some strength. You do have to pull towards the rear for it to come out, but you'll see that these are just tabs that go in there. And then the skin is pretty much coming off. So we'll go ahead and try this on the other side. See if it goes as smooth as the first one. Looks like it was hung up on it a little bit, so I think this is ready to come off. It's bubbling off. This is why we put this little mat on the ground, so we don't mess up the paint or the rear bumper. These are expensive, so let's go ahead and check it out. So now we're looking at these 4 bolts right here. This is where this thing mounts up to. And I gotta figure out how to get this on there. So I'm assuming we take off this rear bash bar here, and then we slide this underneath it. This goes over on top of it, and then we're good to go. So let's go ahead and start taking this sucker off. Okay, so these are 18mm bolts on the back of here, so we're gonna go ahead and remove those. So the 4 top bolts have these little caps on them, and they literally unscrew from them. So I just picked some needle nose pliers up and twisted them off. They're on all 4 of them. And I'm guessing it's because aesthetically you can see them from the top. So I had to kind of pop this tailgate down, and you could see them from the top portion. I just unscrewed them off. They came right off. So I'll be doing that to all 4 of them. They're not torqued on there, so you don't have to give them a lot of pressure. So as soon as you kind of twist on them a little bit, they'll come right off with your fingers. So I'll be doing that right now. So let's go ahead and get the trailer hitch and put it on here. I think this replaces the actual bash bar in the rear end. So I guess this is just extra material here that I can actually throw away. I doubt anybody would want it, but who knows? Maybe I'll put it on Craigslist, see what happens. Let's go ahead and slide that on there. Shouldn't be too hard. I'll be right back. Perfect. Let's use their new hardware. So it says to put a washer on each one of these. I don't know what the purse is using new ones when you have these. Who knows? I guess we'll just use these ones. They're new and shiny. sure that you don't tighten all the way down first before you get all 4 nuts on there just snug. Otherwise, it doesn't look like it went on there right. So let's go ahead and get the other 4 back on there. Okay, 82 foot-pounds of torque. Here we go. That was really far off. Let's get the rest. Okay, all torqued down. Now, let's go ahead and try to fit the bumper and see what they mean about Dremel tool. I guess I have to trim some of the plastic piece off. I guess we'll see. Okay, so this thing says that I need a Dremel tool, but this rear end fits really good. So as you can see, it's not all the way on there, but you would think that there'd be some type of rubbing on the hitch or something. To require a Dremel, but this thing's fitting really nice. So I guess I'll just pop this rear bumper on and see how it goes from there. So just reverse what you did to take it off, put it back on. These rear clips right here were kind of a pain to get in. It's like stretched, the bumper's stretched, so you have to kind of like angle it up to seat it in and then push it back down. That's kind of hard to do, but I was able to get it in. And then you just gotta put all the bolts back in here. Don't forget to plug in your rear bumper again on the passenger side. Get this whole screw in. Get this screw in, which I did not have to take out apparently, but it anyway. So this one's already in. So I'm gonna go ahead and screw everything in.
This
And that's a wrap. I have the trailer hitch installed. The car went back together a lot easier than it came apart. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And if you have any other comments or ways I should have done this better, let me know. Have a good one. Later.